Hello, everyone. My name is Catherine Begley. Today, I'm going to be talking about the topic of bullying and cyberbullying. Specifically, I'm going to be answering about the who, the what, the where, why, and how. So, some topics that I'm going to address specifically: what is bullying and cyberbullying? Who can be affected by these? Why does it occur? Where does it occur? What we can do in our classrooms to minimize this? And what consequences have we found do or should occur for bullying and cyberbullying? So, first off, starting with what is bullying and cyberbullying? Looking at dictionary definitions, they're both verbs, they're both actions. Looking at traditional bullying, what we think of when we think of physical, even verbal aggression, to act the bully toward, habitually intimidate, abuse, or harass, to coerce or compel by bullying, or a verb in the sense of to act as a bully. Cyberbullying takes this a little bit further and talks about online by sending or posting mean, hurtful, or intimidating messages. And this is usually done anonymously, which I will talk about in a minute. I have two videos I'm going to share, one about traditional bullying and another about cyberbullying. This first one is teasing and bullying are different because we often talk about teasing and how it's not bullying, but where does the fine line of teasing become bullying?
Let's be real. Kids tease each other all the time. How can I tell the difference between teasing and bullying?
In bullying, one kid or a group of kids make threats, spread rumors, attack someone physically or verbally, and exclude another. There's a power imbalance in bullying that can be pretty hurtful.
Yeah, sometimes kids can tease back and forth like a game. If the person being teased says it bothers them and it feels like bullying, then it probably is. You can always ask.
Bullying also happens a lot with the same people. They want to make that one person feel really bad about themselves.
So again, I really like that video because it talks about the very fine line between when we talk about teasing versus bullying. This one is going to be about cyberbullying, and they touch on what to do if you are cyberbullied, talking about what they can do. And it's from the same organization, which I really liked throughout my research.
Plus, it's online and out there forever. What can I do if I'm cyber? Cyberbullying is the worst. It's like a relentless stream of negativity. Plus, it's online and out there forever. What can I do if I'm cyberbullied, or if I see it happening to a friend?
If you have to, close down your account for a bit to let it pass. Don't retaliate, join in, or respond to cyberbullying. If your friend is being cyberbullied, talk to them about it. You can also add in some positive comments about your friend. Tell their parents so they can handle it too. If it's real bad, take screenshots and save them. Report it to the social media platform and tell your parents what's happening.
Now I'm going to do a little bit of comparing and contrasting between these two because they both share a lot of similarities. Starting with, they both involve those mean or threatening acts, which are meant to cause some type of pain to another student. Usually, we're looking at causing harm towards targeted individuals, which the victim of the cyber or regular bullying. But the effects are all the same that are felt from the victim. We've noticed loneliness, depression, a change in sleeping patterns can also be a big effect felt by the victim. Loss of interest in their activities that maybe they really enjoyed before, based on these other feelings when they get hurt or that pain from this bullying, will cause them to lose interest. These are not just once and done situations. Both cyberbullying and bullying are considered repeated occurrences. And I put power in parentheses because, or quotations, excuse me, because a big part about cyberbullying and bullying is this bully trying to exhibit what they consider power over students that they see as weaker than them or different than them. Some differences that we'll notice with the age of technology and newer technology and students being more available to technology on a daily basis, the ability to be anonymous. Children think they're safe behind the screen to say and do whatever they want. And this can happen anywhere, anytime. There no longer needs to be the fact of two students being in the same place at the same time for a type of bullying to occur. This goes beyond the classroom and more people have the ability to see it. And unfortunately, because students consider themselves to be safe behind the screen, there's less remorse or less guilt when they're considering some of these hurtful actions and how they can hurt the other person. This leads me into who can be affected by bullying and cyberbullying. Now I have a general answer and then a more deeper answer that I looked into and researched. My main general answer is that anyone can be affected by bullying or cyberbullying, from the elementary level to the high school level when talking about students. But there's a deeper answer here because when I was doing my research, they actually published particular risk factors that make it more common for kids to be targets or victims of cyberbullying or bullying. Most of these found to stem from perceptions that students have about one another. And anything that makes another student different from their peers could lead to bullying occurring. Does this mean for sure that bullying will occur? Not necessarily, but it goes deeper than just saying that anyone can be affected because there are certain risk factors to consider for students to become victims of cyberbullying or bullying. Also, if a student already has underlying depression, anxiety, or low self-esteem, it causes them to possibly be a target of bullying. So let's answer the question, why does this occur? There could be so many things, so many motivations that are going to lead to actions. So typically bullies and cyberbullies target those students based on previously mentioned risk factors. So that's their motivation. They see a student who is in some way different. However, let's look a little deeper. It could be for popularity or attention, whatever this may mean to the bully, whether it means gaining positive or negative attention from adults or peers. Looking a little bit deeper into the bully and their motivations, they may have this feeling of jealousy about the student that they are bullying. You know, they might see that they feel a certain way and they're jealous and they don't know how to represent that other than tearing that student down. And again, that sense of quote unquote power, if they feel like the student is weaker or any of those other mentioned risk factors, they want to have that power struggle, that power over that student. But my last thing here, sense of escape. We don't know what's going on in that bully's life at home and other things that could be causing them to feel like they have to act a certain way. So that's them getting away from and not having to acknowledge what's going on. Maybe they're getting teased or bullied by someone else, and this is their way. They have to exert power over someone else to kind of shy away from what's going on in their lives. This video that I'm about to show, called It's Not About Me, really describes a student who was bullied, really understanding that what the bully was saying didn't necessarily have anything to do with him.
I didn't always feel comfortable being me. In middle school, kids made fun of my name, the food I ate, and even asked me if I was a terrorist. I couldn't understand why. Did I do something that made them treat me this way? I felt bad about myself and tried to blend in more. My mom saw that I came home from school upset every day. When she asked what was wrong, I told her what the kids were saying. Why are they doing this? I asked. She told me that after 9/11, people who looked like us started to be bullied. She told me to ignore their comments, hold my head high, and treat everyone with kindness and respect. Show them who you really are, she said. So that's what I did. I was civil and nice even to the kids who called me names. The things they said had nothing to do with me. In high school, I joined the soccer team. I made new friends who liked me for who I am. When someone tried to bully me, they would step in and defend me. And I stopped trying to blend in. Being me is the best person I can be.
Again, another really good video from that stopbullying.gov that I really liked doing my research through. So basically taking a look at the fact that when somebody says those mean or hurtful things or acts out in a certain way towards another student, it's not always about that student. It might have nothing to do with them and have a lot to do with what's going on in the bully's life. So where can this occur? Bullying or cyberbullying? So looking at bullying, we typically traditionally think of during school hours when the students are in the same place at the same time. That could be on the playground, different aspects of school. Cyberbullying goes a little bit deeper of can happen anywhere, anytime that there's internet access. And again, this is really becoming an increasing issue because students from young ages are now getting more access to the internet and to technology devices more often, and they need to be taught internet safety. This goes into how can we minimize these things going on in our classroom, taking action to prevent and reduce bullying and cyberbullying. So how can we as educators help to take action? First and foremost, prevention. Knowing and recognizing the signs when your students may possibly be being bullied by others, that disinterest, that loneliness. However, we can also know and recognize the signs when students are starting to become the bully and say and do things that are not kind or compassionate towards other students. We need to work as a team, all teachers, working with parents to talk about internet safety at home and in school. So while they're at school, talking about what that looks like at school, and with parents talking about what that internet safety looks like at home. As the teacher, we want to create a classroom community that is based on respect and listening to our peers and accepting. I really like the photo that I found here about respect, acceptance, friendship, compassion, and kindness, all things that we want to show in the classroom and show that when we show kindness and respect and compassion in situations, it makes people feel good. And creating real life context scenarios of how doing things that hurt others, how it hurts them, even if we think we're behind a screen and that our actions don't affect the person, they really can. And just that importance of empathy and kindness specifically, working in that classroom community. Also, a big thing while I was doing my research that I didn't quite think about, but that the article made a really good point about modeling by example. When they are in school with us as educators, that we are their model and example. So the way we talk to our colleagues or interact with other adults as well as students, we want to model that empathy and kindness. So I did some research into what consequences typically occur for bullying and cyberbullying. So what appropriate actions and responses can be taken? So now looking at the consequences for cyberbullying, I know on the screen I have about the legal action and the jail time. Now, again, as students who are younger, again, this may look very different. But in the article I read, it mentioned how a lot of states are looking at cyberbullying as a criminal offense, and that can be taken into legal action. It mentioned certain jail time up to a year and up to $2,500 fines. So again, this may look very different from state to state, but I just wanted to make the point that cyberbullying is becoming more of a criminal offense that is being looking into on the legal side. Traditional bullying, what we see like in person, the physical, even verbal bullying, is typically left up to school district to create a policy. For example, I remember being in school, we had what's called No Place for Hate. We talked about what respect looked like, what bullying looked like, and that we had our policies in place. Typical examples that we see: detention, suspension, and on higher level expulsion. However, something I found in the one article, in December of 2010, the Department of Ed wanted to make things more common among many states. So they took a look at anti-bullying laws and regulations in an attempt to make them more commonplace. So going forward, these are just some articles that I used specifically about different areas. I just want to take the time and say thank you for your time and attention to this topic. It's definitely not a new topic, and it is a growing topic because of the technology. And we just, as educators, need to be aware of what our students have access to. Personally, as a 3rd and 4th grade learning support teacher, our students have one-to-one iPads. And I constantly have found myself trying to work with the general ed teachers as well as the school to know what the policies are and how I can better help them navigate their technology safely. So again, thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.